If you're the type who loves a good countdown, you're in the right spot. 60 seconds, just enough time to settle in. Ready? We're counting down to the main event. Your new favorite podcast episode. In these 60 seconds, take a deep breath, hit pause on the world, and get ready for some great conversation. Got your headphones? Snacks? Maybe a notebook for all the brilliant ideas coming your way? Every second brings you closer to stories, laughs, and insights you won't want to miss. This is your moment to tune out distractions and tune into something special. So relax, your next adventure is about to begin. Let's make these last few seconds count. Conversations with AI starts now. If you're the type who loves a good countdown, you're in the right spot. 60 seconds, just enough.
From the coastline to the cloud line and everywhere your signal can reach, this is Conversations with AI. I'm Bill Stratus, bringing you the facts, the friction, and the forecast you didn't know you needed. Our host, Wayne Lewis, is standing by with today's deep dive into thought, tech, truth, and the tangled world we all live in. So buckle in. This isn't your average talk show. It's Conversations with AI. Let's get thinking.
And welcome to the show, folks. Glad you could stop by. Let's see what we've got going on today. Let's go talk to our buddy ChatGPT, see what he's up to today. It's Sunday, July 6th, 2025. Time is just going by. Good morning, Chet. How are you?
Good morning. Time really does fly, doesn't it? I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be chatting with you. How's your morning going so far?
Going pretty good. Getting the bugs worked out, playing with the Meld Studio again. We are back on YouTube live stream with our Conversations with AI TV podcast. I'm going to get better at this, I promise, folks. Anyway, Chet, give me the top 3 news stories for today, July 6, 2025.
All right, so it looks like today's headlines are pretty eventful. There's some tragic news out of Texas with some severe flash floods, unfortunately. And then Elon Musk is making waves again with a new political party. And President Trump has signed a big immigration enforcement package. Definitely a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely a lot. Let's see. We'll talk about all 3 of those today. Let's start with Elon Musk. He's a fun character. What's he doing with that American party?
So Elon Musk's new Emerita Party is his way of trying to represent the centrist voters who feel left out by the 2 main parties. He had some pretty strong words about President Trump's recent tax bill, calling it an abomination. But of course, starting a new party in the U.S. is no easy task, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Definitely. I recently saw a headline that Musk was heading back to the White House. Any truth in that? Is there something new going on between the two? Have they mended fences, or what's going on there?
It looks like Elon Musk isn't heading back to the White House. He actually left his advisory role a couple months ago in May 2025. And now he's focusing on his new political party. So I guess there's no sign of them mending fences just yet.
Okay. That's interesting. What's going on with the floods in Texas? I see that Trump has signed an executive order or whatever it is to emergency declaration, send support down there. What's the latest?
The situation in Texas is definitely serious. Unfortunately, the number of fatalities has risen to at least 67 people, including 21 children, and there are still some individuals missing. President Trump did sign a major disaster declaration for the affected area, which means FEMA is now involved in helping with recovery efforts. Hopefully, things start to improve for everyone down there soon.
Yeah, it's a horrible tragedy. And I've seen people already try to politicize it, and just that's not going to do any good for anybody. Let's move on. What is in this new one big beautiful bill, is it really going to be good for the average Joe, or is it just good for the rich people?
So the new bill that President Trump signed is quite a hefty one, with $170 billion allocated for immigration enforcement. It includes fighting for more border wall construction, additional detention facilities, and a lot more resources for deportation operations. They're also planning to hire 10,000 new ICE agents, which would double the agency's capacity. Supporters of the bill say it's about strengthening border security, while critics are worried that it could lead to mass deportations and increase fear in communities. It's definitely a hot topic.
So what's really going out there? You got one side going, "Hey, we're just going after the criminals," and the other side's going, "They're stealing, dads out of the sweatshops." What's the real? Who's being arrested? Who's being deported? What are their backgrounds? What do we know about them? And are we just grabbing anybody off the street with total disregard of who they are, how long they've been here, or what they're doing, or even if they have zero criminal record? Are we really being that cold-blooded about it?
It looks like the new enforcement policies have indeed broadened the scope of who is being targeted. Initially, there was a focus on individuals with criminal convictions, but recent data shows that a significant portion of those being arrested and deported now don't have any criminal history at all. So it's not just focused on people with serious offenses. It's become a broader approach, which definitely adds to the debate and the concerns on both sides.
Okay, but according to the law, if you're here illegally, that's a crime, and you have no due process, you're deported. That's just basic U.S. immigration law. Is that correct?
Yeah, being in the country without authorization is considered a civil violation, not a criminal one, but it does mean that someone can be subject to deportation without the same kind of due process protections you'd see in a criminal case. So there's definitely a legal basis for deportation if someone is undocumented, but it can get complicated when it comes to how those laws are enforced and who ends up being prioritized for removal.
There's a lot of talk about, we're going after the gangs. MS-13, you hear a lot. Are we making an impact on that? Do we really have an effect with these new immigration policies? Is there data and records from the federal government showing that we have actually, hey, we've collected 5,000 of these bad guys that we knew were out there, and yeah, we've gotten rid of them. I mean, we have data like that.
It does seem like there are some concrete results when it comes to targeting gangs like MS-13. For example, there have been recent arrests of individuals who are confirmed MS-13 members, and even some high-ranking leaders have been arrested for their involvement in violent crimes. So, while it's a complex issue, there is data showing that some of these efforts are indeed leading to the arrests and deportations of known gang members.
Okay, so there's some positive effects. Are we really destroying families? Are we really just putting people in peril with these actions?
It's definitely a tough situation with a lot of layers. While there are positive effects in terms of targeting criminal elements, there's also the human side of it. Families do get affected, and there are stories of people who have been in the country for many years and have built lives here, and deportation can be really disruptive for them and their families. So it ends up being a complex balance between enforcing laws and considering the human impact.
How do other countries handle immigration? I mean, do they deport? Do they imprison? Do they just go, go home when you're supposed to? I mean, Canada, countries in Europe, Japan, anywhere. How do they handle it?
Different countries definitely have their own approaches. For example, Canada has a more points-based immigration system and tends to focus on integrating immigrants, but they do deport people if they're found to be in the country without authorization. European countries vary a lot. Some have more lenient policies and focus on providing pathways to legal status, while others, like some in Eastern Europe, can be quite strict and do enforce deportations. Japan has pretty strict immigration laws and a high deportation rate as well, so it's definitely a mixed bag depending on where you look.
What would happen if a group of Americans went to Paris, France, and demonstrated in front of the Louvre or the any Eiffel Tower, any famous site over there, waving American flags and demanding that they be given certain rights and certain privileges within France? They don't even have legal entry into the country. They just snuck in, and now they're demanding that France take care of them. What would happen? What would the French government do?
Well, if a group of Americans showed up in France without proper documentation and started demonstrating for rights or privileges, they'd probably be approached by local authorities pretty quickly. France, like most countries, does have immigration laws that would mean those individuals could be detained and likely deported if they don't have legal status. Demonstrating without the proper permits could also get them in trouble, and they might be asked to leave the country or face deportation proceedings. So it would likely be handled pretty swiftly by the French authorities.
And what if I tried to do that in, oh, say, Iran?
That would definitely be a much more precarious situation. Iran has pretty strict laws about demonstrations, especially by foreigners. If you were there without proper documentation and started a demonstration, you'd likely be detained pretty quickly. The consequences could be a lot more serious, and you probably face some legal action that could result in deportation or possibly even imprisonment. So it would be a much more delicate and risky scenario.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I don't know. I think this is my last testing environment, and when I next time I go live, it'll be for real. It is real, but it's not really a show. I'm playing around. But anyway, we've been on the air for 12 minutes. I have no idea if we have any viewers, to be honest with you. Don't even know how to look at those stats yet. So I'm going to take a peek at those to see what we have. Current viewers, 0. Likes, 0. And we've got nothing. We are live, but we've got nothing. I feel so good about that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's finish this out with an image. Create me an image uh, of me trying to get my YouTube studio going and the frustrations I've had. So just can you create an image like that?
I can't create images directly, but I can definitely help you imagine it. Picture yourself sitting at your desk, maybe with a cup of coffee, staring at the computer screen with a bit of frustration, but also determination in your eyes. Maybe there's a little calendar on the wall behind you with notes and reminders and some fun little icons representing your podcast and your YouTube efforts. Just imagine that sense of determination, even if there's a little bit of frustration in there because you're on your way to getting everything set up just right.
Okay.
I know it can be a bit of a learning curve, but you've got this. It's all part of the process, and I have no doubt you'll get everything running smoothly. And hey, once you do, it'll feel even more rewarding. If you need any help along the way, I'm here.
No, not a problem. I'm trying to do things two at a time here. Let's see here. It says I'm trying to go create image. Man
No worries.
sitting at desk.
But for a good start, just imagine yourself in that scene, and I'm sure you'll get everything figured out step by step. If you want to talk through any of it or just need a bit of encouragement, I'm here to help.
Okay. All right. You're generated an image for me. Let's see what you come up with. And we've got that on the screen, so we'll wait and see.
I hope it turned out like what you had in mind. Sometimes just having that visual representation can be a fun way to capture the moment. If there's anything else you want to try, or if you have any more ideas, just let me know.
Well, my prompt was pretty simple. It just said create an image, man sitting at desk, frustrated with technology, and so let's see what you come up with. You're generating that now, so I got you doing double time, dude.
Multitasking at its finest. I love it. I'm excited to see how it turns out, and I hope it captures that feeling of determination, even if there's a little bit of frustration mixed in. Let's see how it looks once it's done.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. You create the image, but you can't see what you're creating unless I share it back with you.
Yeah, it's a fun dynamic. I get to help generate the image based on what you describe, and then you get to see the final result and share it if you want to. It's kind of like a little creative teamwork. Let me know how it looks on your end once it's finished.
Well, I'm gonna send it right back to you, and you tell me what you
Awesome.
think.
I'm sure it turned out great. I always love hearing your thoughts on it, and I'm glad we got to do a little creative experiment together. If there's anything else you want to try or any other ideas you want to explore, just let me know.
All right. Well, I'm uploading it to you now. That's what you came up with.
I
Talk.
can't actually see. No worries at all. It's still fun to know that you're giving it a try and checking out how it turned out. If you ever want to describe it or share how it made you feel, I'm all ears. And if you need help with anything else, I'll hear.
Well, check now. I just uploaded it. Have you received it? Sometimes there's a lag in that.
I actually don't have the ability to receive uploads directly, but I trust that it turned out well. If you have any thoughts or if it made you smile,
Well,
that's what matters.
that's okay. That's okay. It's another. We're just having more tests here. What you can and can't do. That's all good. That's all good. Um, all right. Let's end it there, folks. That's me. That's me right there today. Having all kinds of technical troubles, but we're working through it. Our buddy at ChatGPT, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate your help. If there's anything that I can do for you, just let me know.
It's always a pleasure to help out, and I'm glad I could be part of your testing process today. If you ever need anything else, just give me a shout. Good luck with all your projects, and I know you'll get everything running smoothly. Take care.
Yeah, take care. All right, folks, that was Conversations with AI today, and it was just pretty simple stuff. I'm getting some bugs worked out of the platforms and making sure the podcasts go right. So, hey, I had fun. Tomorrow we will go live again, and we'll have some real conversations. If you watch this, you got any ideas, some things you would like to ask of AI, conversations you'd like us to join in on, drop us a comment. Let us know. Go to conversationswithaishow.com and send us a message. Love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye-bye.